Great Sphinx of Giza stands as one of the most iconic monuments of ancient Egypt, yet much of its origin and history remains shrouded in mystery. Among the many questions that have long intrigued historians and archaeologists, one particular debate focuses on the missing nose of the Sphinx. So what became of this defining feature, and how did it vanish from the colossal statue? The Great Sphinx of Giza is a monumental limestone sculpture depicting a reclining sphinx, the mythological hybrid with a human head and the body of a lion. Carved directly from the bedrock, the structure dominates the eastern edge of the Giza Plateau, situated on the western bank of the Nile in Egypt. Oriented to the east, the Sphinx measures an impressive 73 meters in length from its forepaws to the tip of its tail, stands 20 meters tall from the base to the crown of its head, and spans 19 meters across its haunches. Archaeological findings indicate that the Great Sphinx was most likely constructed during Egypt's Old Kingdom, either under the reign of Pharaoh Khufu or a successor Khafre. Egyptologists generally agree that the enigmatic face on the monument was carved in the likeness of a royal figure, possibly Khufu himself, famed for commissioning the Great Pyramid of Giza, or one of his sons, Djedefre or Khafre, the latter being credited with the construction of Giza's second pyramid. Yet, despite extensive study, no firm consensus has been reached, and the true identity of the pharaoh immortalized in the Sphinx's features remains unresolved. The mystery surrounding the Sphinx's missing nose has inspired centuries of speculation, giving rise to both myths and scholarly debate. Some accounts attribute its loss to the natural forces of erosion, storms, or seismic activity. Others point to deliberate human action, linking the damage to episodes of conflict in Egypt's long history. The most enduring legend claims that French troops under Napoleon Bonaparte destroyed the nose with cannon fire during his 1798 campaign in Egypt. However, this story does not withstand scrutiny. Napoleon's Battle of the Pyramids was fought not at Giza but at Mbaba, roughly 10 miles to the north across the Nile River from Cairo. Supporting evidence against the Napoleonic myth comes from earlier documentation. In 1737, Danish naval officer and explorer Frederick Louis Norden sketched the Great Sphinx during his travels in Egypt between 1737 and 1738, later publishing his drawings in 1755. These illustrations unmistakably show the monument already lacking its nose, more than 6 decades before Napoleon ever set foot in Egypt. Although the exact circumstances surrounding the loss of the Sphinx's nose remain uncertain, no definitive record explains when, by whom, or for what purpose it was removed. Archaeological evidence suggests deliberate defacement. Close examination of the face reveals chisel or rod marks at the bridge of the nose and beneath the nostrils. These indicate that tools were forcibly driven into the stone, after which the nose was pried away. As it was removed, the surrounding limestone fractured, causing the remaining structure to collapse or be further damaged. Some Arab chroniclers from the 10th century attributed the Sphinx's missing nose to acts of religious iconoclasm, while others pointed to later damage inflicted by the Mamluks in the 14th century. The most detailed early account, however, comes from the 15th century Egyptian historian Al-Makrizi. Al-Makrizi records that in 1378, a Sufi ascetic named Muhammad Sa'im al-Dar became enraged when he witnessed local villagers presenting offerings to the Sphinx in hopes of ensuring favourable floods and abundant harvests. Viewing their practice as idolatrous, Sa'im al-Dar allegedly defaced the monument by destroying its nose in a symbolic act of religious zeal. For this vandalism, he was said to have been executed soon after. The ancient Egyptians believed that statues and images could serve as vessels for divine or spiritual presence. When the spirit of a deity was thought to inhabit a sculpture or temple image, the object became an active conduit through which the living could communicate with the gods. Within this belief system, the nose held particular significance, as it symbolized breath, the vital force that sustained life. By striking off the nose, an iconoclast could symbolically cut off the breath of the figure, preventing the spirit within from interacting with the world of the living. A few blows of a chisel would have been sufficient to sever this perceived channel of life, effectively suffocating the statue's spiritual power. Whether this interpretation fully explains the deliberate defacement seen on the Sphinx and other Egyptian monuments remains a subject of scholarly debate, but it offers a compelling insight into the cultural logic of such acts. According to al-Makrizi, local tradition held that the sands engulfing the Giza plateau were divine punishment for Muhammad Sa'im al-Dar's act of defacing the Sphinx. Later legends even linked the destruction of the nose to the calamities of the Alexandrian Crusade of 1365, interpreting it as retribution for the desecration. Thus, the nose itself has long since vanished, most likely crumbled and lost to the desert. Despite centuries of speculation and myth, one conclusion remains certain: the Sphinx's nose did not erode naturally, but was deliberately removed with tools sometime between the 3rd and 10th centuries CE. This hasn't made jack, and if you're looking at the Sphinx right now, please leave a comment down below.